Okay, so we are live. Welcome everyone to the Demon Appreciation Podcast, episode 3. So, as you can see today, we have two guests here on the channel. We have a returning friend, Katana Rikku. Thanks for being here, man.
Thank you so much for having me on, David. I really appreciate this. Podcasts, they're always fun, so I'm always happy to be here.
Absolutely. And today's going to be a real cool talk. We also have VC, man. We've been talking for a while, but first time on the channel. Thanks for being here, man.
You're welcome, and thank you for the invitation to come on for your episode today, episode 3. I really appreciate it. We got a lot to talk about for RPGs and next gen. Can't wait to talk about everything that's been going on as of late as well.
Absolutely, we have a lot to talk about. So as you can see with the title, upcoming RPGs, next gen consoles, Switch Pro, upcoming games. Will definitely go off topic at times. So yeah, it always happens, but that's when it's the best. That's when we have the best time. So no problem there. Just before we start, I just want to let you guys know in the chat if there's anything wrong with the volume. Please let us know. Last time we had a bit of issues with the Spoilercast for 13 Sentinels. The other person's volume was a bit too low. I think I figured it out, but if there's any type of problem, let us know. So it would be great. And at all times, again, if you have any type of questions in the chat, don't hesitate to drop them and we'll be happy to answer them for sure. We have a few people here already. Thanks for being here, guys. We really appreciate it. What's up, ILS? Thanks for being here. What's up, Demicro? Hashtag Peppa Gang. And we have Tommy Rikku as well. Thank you for being here, man. Really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and start, you guys. I have a very simple and small question to ask to both of you before. I think it's a mandatory question at first. Are you guys picking up a console next month? Whether it's a PS5, an Xbox, a Stadia, anything.
I think I'm gonna wait. Personally, I'm content with my PS4 as of now, but I think I will. Not next month, but I will get some maybe next time, next year or so.
Me personally, if I wasn't someone who had a current gen console, then I would probably dive in. Because I have a friend, for example, who missed out on the PS4 and he's picking up the PS5, and that's smart, especially if you get the PS Plus Gold membership. You get to play God of War, Persona 5, a lot of great games. So it's almost as if it would have been better if I didn't experience this current generation. But overall, I may wait a year or two before we get some next-gen consoles, either PS5 or Series X. And I got the Game Pass recently, and I gotta be honest, it actually surprised me how good it is. Using that, so that's a good supplement for having a Series X right there. And the PS4 runs a lot of games well, and Miles Morales and the new Horizon game coming out for PS4 as well. It's almost no reason to pick up a PS5 anytime soon, in my personal perspective. But I totally understand if someone is interested in that part of next gen, totally. So for me personally, I'm probably gonna wait a year to 2 years.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. It's fair enough because at first, for my part, I pre-ordered the PS5 physical edition,
Nice.
but then something happened with my cat. He had to go to the vet, and it costed $800, which is basically the Canadian price for the PS5. So I canceled it.
Pets are more important. Honestly.
Absolutely,
I
yeah,
have three pups.
I agree.
yeah,
can't trade them for the
absolutely.
world.
Exactly. And then what I was saying to everyone is, yeah, about the PS5 because I know that I'm going to buy it at some point, but I'm buying it without a launch title. So I was buying it to replace the PS4 basically. Like I was of course I'm picking up Yakuza, but it's not like a next gen new title like PS5 exclusive for say. It's the PS4 version. So
That's smart.
So yeah, I just waited at some point. It's just like you guys. There's no real reason to pick it up day one for me at least. But I can understand the incentive for people who decided to buy it. So
Right.
yeah, $800. Yeah, you know what? Mario Wo actually yes, he's okay. It's $800, but the vets are if you have animals, you know that it's crazy expensive. At least here in Canada, it's crazy. We had to take off one teeth for the cat basically. So that's $800 just for that. So yeah. Thanks for everyone who just joined, and we have a lot of new people here. Thank you for being here, guys. We appreciate it. Really cool. And Tomi Reku, thanks for the subscription. Really appreciate it as well. Yeah, so next gen consoles, what else can we talk about when it comes to next gen? I have a really generic question that I wanted to ask you guys, and you might not have the answer right away, and it's okay. um,
Okay.
what's your most anticipated announced game for next gen? So I know that you guys are also really into the Switch, but let's talk just next gen first. So just Xbox, PS5.
Okay. Yeah, I can. Yeah, for Xbox, really, it's well, Xbox and PC technically. PSO2 New Genesis, which is, I think, is going to be one of the most hype action RPGs of 2021, in my opinion. For PS5, hmm, I guess for that I'd have to say like, I don't know actually. I don't know. It's just a lot of the games I'm looking forward to on PS5. I'll be playing on PS4. So like Miles Morales, and I would say Horizon, but I could play it on a PS4. So
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm not. It's kind of a hard question for me right now, at least on the PlayStation side.
Yeah, well, PSO2 is a great pick. Great pick. I know that you're looking forward to this one, and it looks really interesting as well. Every time that I look at a trailer, I'm like, man, I have no clue what this game's about, but I'm hyped. It looks cool. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it looks one of the best looking Fantasy Star games out there right now.
Oh, for sure. It looks amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people originally were like, "Oh, this looks like Xenoblade Chronicles X," and I'm like,
Oh.
"Maybe, but it looks better."
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Visually,
It's got
just
like
the way
that.
it looks, so.
Yeah, like the sci-fi type thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Nightshade, thanks for the subscription, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks,
So-
Nightshade.
PSO2, great. Really, really great pick. Is this game coming to PS5 as well? Like, it gets the marketing campaign with Microsoft, but is it coming to a PS5 as well?
I
As
think
far
it's
as I know-
exclusive, right, Katana?
As far as I know, it's a timed exclusive based on what Phil Spencer said last year. But I'm kind of having some suspicions that it might not be a timed exclusive anymore. But I don't know. It hasn't been a year yet, so I'm not sure. I would love for that to come to PS5 though. That would make my next gen decision a lot easier. I mean, my PC can play it, but this is gonna sound crazy, but I really just prefer playing on console. I don't know why. It's just I don't know.
Oh, I got you. It's the same thing for me. So I just
Yeah.
feel like,
Yeah.
and people are going to roast me for that, but I just feel like there's a problem every time that I'm trying something on PC. And I have a good PC, don't get me wrong. It's just there's always something. There's the mic, or there's the keyboard, or there's always something that doesn't work, or there's an update. There's on console, especially on Switch, you pop the cartridge in, you play, and it's simple. I don't mind if it is in 8K or 200 FPS. It's just if it's playable, I'm cool. I mean, my GameCube's hooked up, and I play it regularly, so I don't mind about the performance.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't matter that much to me, and I personally like how, like you said, it's just you plug it in. The games are, for the most part, optimized for the system. Every now and then you get
For the
the
most
one that
part.
works, kind of wonky. But for the most part, I really just prefer console gaming.
I definitely understand that. I'm new to the PC world. For anyone who may have known, my last PC was like a 2012 PC in the way it ran. It could barely
Oh.
run Persona 4 Golden on Steam. That's how bad my old PC was. And it was a 2018 PC. So this new PC, like, I've been playing games like Gears Tactics, Code Vein, very
Nice.
heavy games on like GPU, CPU, and all that. And it does really well. And whenever I emulate any games, yes, sorry, whoever is hearing this, it's a corporate entity. Sorry, make your games more accessible. I haven't had any issues. I had like issues at first of getting like, let's say, PCX2 set up for PS2 games, or like,
Yeah.
let's say, I don't know if you guys heard of Ocarina of Time co-op. There's online co-op for
Huh, really?
Ocarina of Time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but it took a little bit to get that set up, but it wasn't difficult or anything. Like, so it's all about like trying to figure out all that kind of stuff, I think. But also, it definitely depends on the GPU overall. I think as long as the GPU and the fans are able to circulate the heat, it will be able to run no matter what. So
Oh.
that's like the main thing, especially if the PC is like a little bit tighter. Like if it's a thinner PC, there's a higher chance of it overheating when you're playing certain games. So like when it comes to next gen games, and this one of these games is coming to Game Pass, I know it will, but I'm hyped for it. Hellblade, the new Hellblade. I loved Senua's Sacrifice. I thought it was a really good game, and it surprised me. I got into it a little bit later than everyone else, but it was totally worth playing after I tried it out. It's a very euphoric kind of game, and how the sounds
Looks like
in
it.
the game hit you. It's kind of like you're outside in real life and you're hearing things in all directions while you're playing. It's wild. So
Awesome. Yeah, that
I'm
new trailer
impressed. I
looks
like it.
awesome for the new one. Like that's one of the first game that they showed, I think, at the like one of the first Xbox showcase, and it looked crazy, really good,
Yeah,
really good as
it
well.
is insanely good. I can't wait because graphically it looks great, and the combat in the game, I actually enjoyed the combat. I know there's some people after the fact, years later, they're like, "Oh, the combat is a little too simple. Oh, this or that." Well, they don't complain about like The Last of Us having simple combat, but
I
that's
gotcha.
that's just that.
Um,
But
Char-
next gen, overall though, I do see Series X and PS5 having a large gap in the first year to 2 years, similar to how the PS4 and Xbox One had the first year to 2 years, where games would still go to the
yeah,
predecessors. So
yeah, it was
for the next
really slow first years for those consoles. I do
think
remember.
that's gonna be for this too. It's gonna be just
Probably,
like that for this.
probably, yeah. But they have some cool games coming.
Oh yeah, Demon Souls looks good too.
Oof, yeah, that one
Remake.
looks crazy good. Crazy good. Not my type of game, but it looks cool, and I can definitely see why people are
yeah.
excited for that one.
Especially how it all looks. It's very stylistically pleasing to the eyes with how intricate they got the graphics going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Charity Scott, thank you so much for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. I want, while we're on the subject of, anticipated. Oh, did you have one? Did you say your most anticipated game, VC? Announced game for next gen?
Oh, aside from well, for Xbox it's Hellblade,
Okay.
but for PS4, that's a little tough. I know I'm going for the long haul with my pick, and it's not even announced, and it probably won't even come out till 2026. But Persona 6,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
because let's be honest, Persona 6 is not to be multiplat. Let's think about it. Is base Persona 6 gonna be multiplat? I'm not sure.
We can talk about it. Yeah, definitely. I think we're three people that can have an interesting talk about this one. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure anymore. I don't think it's coming to Xbox for obvious reasons. Switch seems kind of unlikely, but way more likely than Xbox, obviously. But I feel like PC might happen at some point. Like Atlas has shared multiple times that they want to put their games on multiple systems and platforms. They're trying PC at the moment. They tried Switch with Scramble. Depending on their ambitions with Persona 6, maybe they'll try Switch as well. Who knows? I don't think there's some type of deal with Sony, like they're saying, like maybe some, how do they call it? Temporary exclusivity, like Final Fantasy. What's the right way to say it? It's
Time exclusive.
Time exclusive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that could make sense, but hey, we'll see. I wouldn't say that it's not coming to other platforms yet, though. I don't know about
it's
that.
not definite or anything. It's
Yeah.
just based on my personal perspective on it, because it took a while for like Persona 4 Golden, for example, to come to Steam. And,
Oh yeah.
and I think the way it's gonna work is like, if there was a Persona game to come to Switch, it would be Persona 5 regular, not Royal.
Oh yeah.
So when down the line this game releases, I feel it could come to other platforms a year or so later if it does. But if not, it wouldn't surprise me if it stayed exclusive for at least a while, if not indefinitely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That would make sense for sure, for sure. Great pick as well. Yeah, I would have to agree that it's probably not a release that we'll get soon, but hey, at least we know that it's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, I think Persona 5 has gotten like ridiculously popular, that and more popular than Persona 4, and look how many spin-offs of Persona 4 we got. So I think they're gonna want to keep it relevant for a while.
Even more.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah.
I would like to have the game that was supposed to be my potential game of the year 2020, Persona 5 Scramble, to come to the West.
Oh man.
I'm sure next year we'll see something.
I
mean, as long as the spin-offs are like
2020 for me.
Yeah, if the spin-offs are like high quality, like Persona 5 Scramble, then yeah, I'm definitely I'm okay with that.
Persona 5 karaoke.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Like the old music games where you would sing and like it would record your voice. Imagine.
Oh man.
That'd be insane.
And the thing is, with Persona, like they can do whatever they want, and the fan base is going to really like it. I'm pretty sure.
Real quick, the chat says that they're having trouble hearing us.
Oh really?
That's what they're saying.
Give me 1 second.
I raised my volume on my mic and stuff, so.
You guys are both at top sound here. It's on top here. Thanks for telling us, ILS. I'll do the verification right away, but Everything seems pretty high though. I'm not too sure.
Maybe you guys have to raise the volume that are watching.
Is it better now? Well, let us know if there's anything wrong.
So.
I'll try to fix it, but on my part, everything seems okay. The user's volume are high. Everything's high. Yeah. Thanks for being here, Saltendo. Just joined. Cool. Forgot the Dancing Games existed. Can't blame you.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad. You forgot about that.
The music is good, but it's not my kind of game. So
yeah, I think it's
the cutscenes are decent.
They're good games for what they are. So we kind of answered that question actually, but I had one question which was, what's your most anticipated unannounced game that we're sure is coming? So Persona 6, great pick. Anything else that you guys are like really looking forward to that we know is going to happen at some point? We just don't have a confirmation yet.
Well, for me, it would have to be like not mainline SMT, but an SMT like spinoff, maybe like a third Devil Survivor or something like that. I mean, I just feel like with SMT 5 being brought back, I would hope that Atlas decides to make like one spinoff or something, like, you know, in the next like 4 or 5 years or so, just so we can just have, because I never played Devil Survivor and I plan to play it on my 3DS, but just imagine like that kind of gameplay, just like fully realized 3D and all that. HD.
Oh yeah. That'd be nice.
I would really be a fan of that, but
yeah.
You know, I mean, as far as I know, SMT5 is. I mean, I don't know if that's it, but yeah.
Yeah, and we have Saltendo here praising that point, Devil Survivor 3. It would be amazing if they were to do it. Do you guys think it would work with a similar art style, like 3D style, kind of like what they did with what they're doing with the new Disgaea game? Could it work that way?
I think it would be more like Monster Hunter Stories 2 graphics. Not exactly cell shading, but like something along those lines. And I feel they would do really well with like the lighting and the shadows to help enunciate the color palette that they'll have for that game.
Yeah, it could work. They would have to do it like of course, the grid-based phases of combat would be different, and kind of mini visual novel parts where the characters are talking and all of that. It would have to have its own art style, but when it comes to the real combat, maybe they could reuse the models and reuse what they're doing for SMT5. It could be something that they could make it work.
Do you think it's possible they'll change it to an open world setting for when you're outside of battles, like kind of like Persona 5 and SMT5?
For Devil Survivor?
Yeah, do you think that they would
man.
maybe consider doing that instead of the visual novel stuff?
I would like it, but I don't know about that. It seems really ambitious.
I think so too, in the ambitious front. It definitely would be ambitious for it, but like at the same time, it could be beneficial for the series.
Oh yeah,
we've seen how good it worked for Persona 5, and we're gonna now see how it works for SMT5. And to be honest, I think we all know that the game's gonna do very well for itself and from the series as a whole.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%.
Everyone's anticipating it. People were waiting 3 years just to hear information, and we finally got a trailer. That was hype.
Open world and tactical. I'm trying to figure out how that would work.
No, it could work.
The
not
gameplay
necessarily
was tactical, just outside of the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Not necessarily. I don't think it has to be like open world, but something like SMT4 where it's kind of like open. There's open phases of where you can just travel like let's say in Tokyo and you get lost like all the time. That could work.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Hey, interesting idea here, but hey, I don't even think. I'm sorry, Saltendo, but I don't really think Devil Survivor 3 is a thing. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. As much as I would like it, I don't expect... Oh, man, and that hurts me so much to say it, but I don't expect so many SMT spin-offs anymore like they used to give us. I think we're at the point where spin-off for Megaton is now Persona spin-offs. I think that's where we are at the moment.
Yeah, and it's just going to be mainline SMT from now on.
Yeah, that's what I have in mind. And I mean, if they are doing more like old remasters and stuff like that, is it a bad thing? I don't think so.
It really isn't, honestly, because I think
they need to be re-released. To be honest, so it's nice.
I'm happy with SMT5. To be honest, like just the fact that it's even a thing. So
and
that along with like bringing them back like the PS2 Digital Devil Saga and all that, I'm fine with that.
Digital Devil Saga. I made a video just about that. Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2 has to be a thing at some point. It has to. Like those games are. Oh yeah, for sure. Because
I picked that up.
because the two games are Like it's a direct sequel. You play 2, of course, right after, just like Apocalypse. You want to play both, but even more from DDS1 to DDS2. Like it's even, you even want to play it more one after another than 4 to 4 Apocalypse, for example. So yeah, that those games would be sick. They're running on the Nocturne engine. They have the remastered engine, so they have everything in their hands to do it. They should do it, man. They really should. It would be sick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it'd be insane. I'd love that.
Oh yeah,
Getting to have both of those as a collection on multiplat, that would be on like everything.
Oh yeah,
like,
PC, Xbox, let's go all in.
Switch, oh that'd be perfect for the Switch. I love buying games that are like a bundle on Switch, like Digimon, Cyber Sleuth, and Hacker's Memory. It was on sale the other day. I already had it like when it was on sale back at $30, but it was on sale the other day for like 15 or something less for 2 games. Big games, big vast RPG games. Similar, it plays kind of like Pokemon and Persona as well in the gameplay format. So it's a lot of fun. It's a great. So it's like whenever there's a collection, it's amazing. Like Final Fantasy 8 and 7 being paired together in that collection that they had. I love that, like that thing too. I still want to get that.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point because the Switch has so many of those collections. Like when I told you, Rikku, before we started, that I had like 20 Switch games that I haven't played yet. And those 20 games, there's a bunch of collections. There's a bunch of them.
Physical and digital. I have some physical games I still haven't played yet. Like I have Katamari Damacy Reroll, which I never even played when I was younger either. Have that. I've Slay the Spire. I just have a ton of stuff that I haven't played yet, physical and digitally. It's like I need to play them, but at the same time, I want to finish what I'm currently playing. So
yeah,
it's one of those things. You don't want to jump into another river if you're already in a pond, or vice versa.
We have a question that I want to answer here in the chat. First of all, thanks for being here. We have King Narukami in the chat. Thanks for being here, man. And at the same time, congratulations for your job with the Persona 5 dub.
Oh yeah,
I just learned about that. Really cool. Congrats on that. But the question that we have here is from Yuba Core. He asks, and I get this question very often, so that's why I want to talk about it right here. Is Nocturne a great place to start with the mainline SMT series? And to answer that question personally, I would like to know what's your experience with RPGs and what's your experience with Megaton as a whole. Like, did you play Persona before? Have you played other SMT games? Because if you did, if you're familiar with RPGs and turn-based RPGs, or if you played Persona, I think you're good. I think you're good with starting with Nocturne for sure. The difficulty is not the same as, let's say, Royal. That's for sure. But
definitely.
Yeah, but it's feasible for if you like RPGs and you want to make it work. Like, it's a good place to start from the story to the gameplay. Like it's simple enough, but like there's enough content here to really enjoy it as a first game, in my opinion. I made a video on the matter where to start with SMT, and it was one of my picks. It's not my first pick, but it's definitely a great place, in my opinion. Especially with the remaster that's coming. I'm sure a lot of people would try SMT for the first time here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of people's first SMT games.
For sure.
At least first mainline.
Based on the way it's all played out as well, because many people who've been playing Persona 5 as their new game, their first game in the series, they see SMT 5 be announced and shown, and they're interested in it because they already played Persona 5. So getting into Nocturne would be a great way, honestly. It comes at the right time as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it'd be a great first pick, honestly. Maybe not the best first pick, but that I personally like Strange Journey. That's the one I like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's the best first pick, though. I wouldn't say that's the best first pick.
Oh, no, I don't think it is. Not. I don't think it is. Like, the dungeon design at some points are terrible. Well, not terrible, but not easy to get into. Like,
and I'm talking the original DS version, too.
Yeah, for sure. And I wanted to recommend, in this video that I made, I wanted to recommend Soul Hackers, but for the same reason as Strange Journey, I decided not to, because of the dungeon designs. It's like really old school.
I never played that one.
It's great. It's really good, but it's really hardcore dungeon crawling. Like, it really is. It really is. SMT4 is an amazing place to start, though. I can see the
dungeon crawling similar to like the original Phantasy Star games, for example.
Like
the classic stuff. Because that's what I love. I wish Phantasy Star went back to the classic stuff. Like, if Phantasy Star 5 came out and was exclusive to next gen, I'm copping next gen.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's immediate. Like, I need classic. But
it's a great comparison.
So that's good to hear. I'll definitely look into it.
Definitely the same type of dungeon crawling experience, or the first two not Megami Tensei, but the first two Shin Megami Tensei games on Super Famicom were very similar type of dungeon crawling.
Yeah, because I know Persona 1 has dungeon crawling as well. So, because when I'm done with 5 Royal and 3, when I'm done with those 2 games, I'm going to be going right to 1, actually. And I'm going to be skipping 2. I'm going to save it after last. Because I know 2 is the 2-parter, so.
Oh
Yeah, I think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. I was changing subject with something that we have on the chat, so let's go. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think that 4 is, in my opinion, like the best starting point in the entire series. I mean, I've only played a couple of them, but I really think it was so friendly to me, except for like the first hard boss in the game. I just thought it was just, man, quality of life upgrades over. Well, Nocturne is gonna have some stuff too, but I just think that 4 is the best starting point.
It is a really great place to start, for real, because again, there's a lot of, just as you mentioned, a lot of quality improvements, general quality of life improvements that are great, and that just a simple thing is like the ability to save everywhere. Like, it's worth a lot to players who are not used to this type of games, because obviously you die often and stuff like that. So yeah, they're great games.
Yep. And I'm glad to hear that Nocturne has that save anywhere function now. That really saves.
Yeah, that's cool.
That makes it so much better.
Brings it to
me.
2020. That's what definitely helps out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can see when we're talking that we want to go in the direction of talking about Switch just a bit more. So I have a lot of questions about that. I want to know, what is you guys? No. Let me ask something else. Let's change the subject completely. Why isn't Xenoblade Chronicles X on Switch yet?
I heard that it was like really resource intensive or something like that, and it was going to take a lot of work for them to do it. But I also think that it's because Definitive Edition just dropped, so they probably want to wait a while before they put it on Switch, if it ever happens.
Do you think it's going to happen at some point?
I hope so. I mean, I'm not sure, because I don't really know much about the history of the series, but I mean, the Switch is like the console to put it on. A lot of the first party games do well on that system. So, and Xenoblade 2 sold like almost 2 million. So I think it should happen if they haven't done it yet. I mean, they need to.
Honestly, in my opinion, I definitely see where you're coming from, Riku. But at the same time, I believe Monosoft is thinking at this point, wow, we made a good amount of money off of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Torna did really well as well. A lot of people who got the DLC for 2 got Torna, and you can buy Torna standalone. And I know a lot of people did that to get into the franchise as well. And as we already just mentioned, Definitive Edition did do pretty well. And it was recently on sale the other day for like $39.99, which is an amazing deal for that game. But that's already 3 Xenoblade games out of 4 on the platform. I feel like it's going to click if it hasn't already. Why not just have all the Xenoblade games on the Switch? The Switch is the Xenoblade platform. You know what I mean? Because they already have 3 of them on there, so they might as well just have. So they might have already decided that a year ago if they already been working on it, importing it, and if it were to come to the Switch, it wouldn't be like anytime in this year. It'd be like midway through next year.
Didn't they say they were working on their next project though? So that maybe that's
but they also have a lot of teams now. They have 250 workers there now, 250 developers there.
It's crazy.
They have a big development studio now. It's insane.
That's great. That's great.
They have multiple teams, so there's a high probability that they're working on multiple games at once. So maybe 3 games at once, possibly.
Let's be honest. I have to agree, Riku, with the fact that X it's ambitious to port because it's a big game. But they were able to do an amazing job with a Wii game to port it in HD, remodel everything. It's like that's a big job as well. Like, we must not underestimate it. At least Chronicles X is already HD. So I'm curious to, let's say we ask them and compare. Like, I would be curious to ask them, what's the difference? How hard is it to port Chronicles X versus the original from the Wii? I would be curious, honestly. But I'm just as you guys said, I'm sure it's going to happen at some point. They're going to have a year free of a Monolith soft release, and they're going to port this one at some point. Maybe 2021. Who knows? I don't think they're ready for their new thing, like they've been talking about for a while. I don't think
they're ready for that yet either.
Yeah,
it'd be nice, but I wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, if they announce Chronicles X, I would be down 100%.
Oh yeah, I definitely would, because to me it looks like one of the most unique games in the series to me, because it's like instead of like Blade, it's like skills and stuff like that, robots, mechs, and all that. So
It's a
it looks
lot of
pretty,
fun.
Yeah.
Like I got it for the Wii U, and once I got my gamepad, my new gamepad, I've been playing it. It's a lot of fun. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It looks better than Definitive Edition.
Yeah, I mean, well, I want to
It's
play it,
insane.
but I don't want to buy a Wii U for it, so that's all.
Yeah, I
Understandable.
luckily still had a Wii U from when it first released. I was one of the day ones. So.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you could just wait because, again, it's going to happen at some point.
I definitely see it's
I
gonna happen. I just couldn't wait.
Speaking of a game who's going to happen at some point, we have another question here in the chat from Saltendo asking, why ain't Wind Waker HD on Switch yet? And that also is a question for Twilight Princess from me.
Wind Waker HD is one of the best Zelda games, in my opinion. One of.
Yeah.
It's not the best in regards of everyone's terms. I know everyone feels differently. Me personally, it's my favorite. But
Oh,
I know a lot of people say they either love it or they still dookie on it for its cel shaded art style, and it's like that doesn't mean anything. It can still be a very great game regardless of the art style.
mm-hmm.
I think it looks really good, and I think it's a
Especially
missed
in the
opportunity that it
HD. Oh
isn't
my
on
God.
Switch yet. I think
It looks beautiful
It should have been on Switch.
on HD. The HD version, I played it on my Wii U. I would play that again on Switch. That one totally play it again on Switch.
I mean, it's beautiful on GameCube, so
Yeah,
Of course
yeah,
it's beautiful on Wii
The
U.
style really holds up.
those games are coming next year with the Zelda anniversary.
yeah.
I'm-
Oh, yeah, I
see that
totally forgot
happening,
about
too.
that. Yeah.
Pretty confident that
Yeah.
it's going to happen at some point. Now, they're going to release them separately, and people are going to be pissed off, probably, but hey, that's...
Hey, maybe they'll
another
do
topic.
a limited collection release, just like Mario. Maybe.
Personally, I think
And they'll call
might
it
be
the
100.
Triforce or something.
the Triforce of
Triforce
$60 a game for a limited time.
So 180 for a limited time total.
Oof. Oh man, no,
I'd
but
be
I'm sure
okay
they're
with,
coming because it's such an easy work to bring them to Switch. Like they have all their work from the Wii U, just put it on Switch. I mean, if they want to be customer friendly, they could just put them in a duo pack and sell it for $60, and it would do crazy numbers.
Especially if it's a limited release. Definitely would help.
Yeah.
I just want to play. I just want to play Wind Waker out of all of them. I don't. That's the only one I really want to play. So if they just make that.
Well,
standalone,
out
I'm
of those
fine with
three,
that.
that's the only one that's a good one. So.
Oh,
I can't say anything.
Oh.
I've only played Breath of the Wild. So.
bruh.
I've played it and beat Twilight Princess. It's not a bad game. It's a good Zelda game. I just hate how it looks. And like some parts in the beginning are extremely slow compared to the other starts of other Zelda games.
Mm-hmm. Well,
It drags a lot more in the beginning of Twilight.
I will give you that Wind Waker's better, but I really don't think Twilight Princess is bad at all. Like it's a really good game
it's
as well.
not a bad game. It's just that I don't see it as good as Wind Waker is all.
Mm-hmm.
That's mainly it.
Fair.
And
fair
Skyward
enough.
Sword, that's always a very controversial Zelda game. But I think it's best if people do give it another chance, though, in general, because most people didn't get to. It's not the best thing out there, but I liked the bosses and how things were in the story.
Gotcha. That's a question that I want to answer because that brings me to another question that I had. Demicro asked if Persona Q could work on Switch or PS4, and I want to add to this question, what do you guys think about the process of bringing a 3DS game to modern consoles? Like the Switch or like the PS4 or the PC?
We got Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate.
It's
We got
feasible.
Moon Factory 4 Special. We have a handful already on the Switch.
Yep, but I still think it's a challenge to bring them.
Oh, yeah.
And,
It's definitely not easy.
yep,
Like-
and Atlas, yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
Atlas is down to do it. I don't think Atlas is down to put a lot of time in.
I wouldn't think so either.
Yeah.
I think you're right on that.
I'm sorry my confidence in Atlas is not that high for this type of thing. But there's another question that we have here. Rico, did you have something to say about
Do you think
that?
that Attack on Titan game that they made so long ago is going to be coming to Switch? Is
Oh
that why you
man,
asked?
please no, please no. That's a terrible
I heard it
game.
was terrible.
Oh yeah. Oh man. We have another similar question that I want to answer as well because that's another thing that is interesting to talk about. But King asks, do you guys see Persona 3 FES and Persona 4 Golden Switch ports for the 25th anniversary of Persona?
I hope so.
I don't know. I can't really predict Atlas, but Persona
Yeah.
4 obviously isn't bound by Sony because it's on Steam now. I mean, I don't know if the series. I don't think the series is, but uh, I would be surprised. I think I'd be surprised because I still think that it would only be Sony and PC.
Well, I think
I'd
the
love to
reason
see
why
it,
we'd
though.
be surprised though is because it is Atlas.
Yeah.
Like of course we want it to happen, but like we're gonna see it whenever it would drop if it were to happen. Be like, oh, it's here, it's coming. Like we're gonna be surprised no matter what. It's something that we just want to see. We want to see Atlas get more recognition for their games. And I came into like the franchise of SMT and Persona a little later, and I like a lot of the games, and I like the lore behind it, how all of them relate to various mythologies in real life, and also the way the stories relate to human psychology as well. I love how it all plays out, and I definitely could see that being possible, but we'll have to wait and see on that one for sure. It's Atlas.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I want Persona 1 on the Switch and 2. But or no, what I really want, scratch that. I want a Persona 1 remake that plays battles in the battles like it's Persona 4 and 5 and stuff. But then the overworld, like when you're not in the dungeon inside the school and all that, it's basically like open world. But when you're actually moving around, it's dungeon. So it's like it gets all three of those aspects and fuses them together. If they were able to do that,
Pun intended. I'm sorry, you said fuse, so I had.
yeah, pun definitely intended on that.
It's a really cool idea, and people bring up those games all the time in my comment sections. And the thing is, Atlas, there's one meme in particular that I always bring up, and it's like Atlas doesn't know anything about Persona before 3. Like they don't want to acknowledge anything about
It's
those
like
games.
when did Persona start? Persona 3.
Yep, absolutely. This is where it started. It all started for them, at least. Maybe one day something's going to happen, but oh man,
Maybe
those.
the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, but the next,
hopefully.
in my opinion, the next thing is the Persona 3 port. The Persona 3 remaster in brackets, which it had, in my opinion, what I would like them to do is to put like the portable content with the FES content in a package, sell it on PC, PS4, and Switch. Probably PC first, like they did with Golden, but anything would be cool on that front.
Definitely.
But yeah, Persona 1 and 2 remakes are needed. I also agree on that front. Everyone agrees.
It'd be awesome. Yeah, I would love it.
Yeah, but hey, Atlas is the company who decided to show 25 minutes of Katrin full body gameplay at New Game Plus Expo. So.
Oh my god.
Do you want to know what they went over on Tokyo Game Show?
Hey, we streamed it for 5 hours, man. We know what happened. Let's not talk about that. The best thing about this show was Peppa Pig in the background, so. Oh no. The best thing about this show is when we all went crazy when they showed the old trailer for SMT5. We were like, oh man, they definitely have to show something else. We'll have a new trailer. We'll have something new. Everyone freaked out. And I remember your reaction, Riku. Like, it was some random trailer for old games. No one cared. And then we have the you know, the music, and then the SMT5 that goes up, and the Atlas logo, and you're like, you just interrupted us, and you're like, hold up, and then the mic, and we're like, whoa, what's going on? Everyone in the chat was like spamming, and then boom, same old trailer, nothing new.
Trailer.
Oh man, they really don't care about our hearts.
That broke me.
Oh yeah.
They can't do that to me again.
Yeah, but even Sega for their showcases was not good either.
Yeah.
Not to get off topic, but oh my god, it was horrible. Absolutely atrocious show.
Yeah.
I am gonna keep my eye on the Game Awards though. Just saying.
Hey, well, I think we're gonna be seeing a new Smash Bros. Character.
I have a video coming up next week talking about the Game Awards.
Awesome.
Should be interesting.
Awesome.
Should be interesting. I have ideas for Game Awards as well, which it's going to be interesting this year. Pretty sure.
At least we don't have to worry about Death Stranding trying to take all the awards.
Oh
nominated
man.
for everything.
And Jump Force.
Oh, that was weird.
Jump Force too. Oh my god.
That was crazy. Oh man, and we're talking about Jump Force. Fun fact: Jump Force outsold 13 Sentinels. It's in September.
I think it's the hype.
Wait!
that
In
sold it.
September?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Because like, of course, I was thinking worldwide for a second, but I was like, wait, it came out a long time before. Of course it would, but then
No.
like just that month is like, wow.
Yeah, 13
that's a
Sentinels doesn't have its place in the NPD chart. Like Jump Force is number 20 in the top, and 13 Sentinels is nowhere to be found.
Because it's at 20 with Jump Force, so it's blocking it.
Oh man, it just I'm laughing, but it's sad. Yeah, it's sad.
I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I've seen your review and many other people's reviews on the game because I want to check it out. I want to pick it up sometime.
Yeah. Oh
Looks
man,
great.
it's an amazing game, but I covered it enough. I don't want to bother anyone in the chat who doesn't care about it because it's a unique game. It's not for everyone, and I can understand that. But it's easily my game of the year, easily. What is you guys' game of the year?
Crash Bandicoot 4.
Nice.
Yeah, easy lock, man. It's so good.
Mine is like, it came out in 2020 on Steam, but like it technically came out in 2011. So
P4G.
Yeah. I gotta be honest. Like Ghost of Tsushima was like iron heading first, but then P4G is just too good of a game, and it technically is a 2020 release. I'm considering it a 2020 game for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not, but that's just it's one of the best games I ever played. Honestly, like I played Persona 5 before 4G, and I liked 4G way more, from the characters to the gameplay to everything, the music.
The pacing.
I enjoyed all of it more, and the pacing, the writing.
Better.
The writing in the game is the best too. For each character, it does a great job. I thought it was a near perfect game. Honestly, like it was my first time. Like I was like, wow, is there something I actually don't like about this game? And like I had to like sit down for like 2 hours and think about it, like because like I did a video, and when I was doing my video, I had to go pretty much play New Game Plus, so to get footage and all that, because I can't show footage from the end of the game for obvious reasons. So as I was playing through the beginning of the game, it was like, is there anything bad? The beginning doesn't drag on. Like I was hooked from the jump the first time playing, and I was hooked again, of course. So
absolutely,
it's just one of those games where like it hooked me. But I do gotta mention Ghost of Tsushima and Bug Fables 2. Bug Fables deserves a mention as well. One of the best Super Mario games of all time.
I want a physical release for this game. That would push me to.
It came out already. The physical.
Really?
I think I believe it like. It was already a thing. Like it's limited, I believe. I'll look it up real quick. I'm pretty sure I heard something about that.
If it's a thing, I need to buy it. I have no reason anymore.
I'm pretty positive. Yeah, Limited Run already did it back in July.
Okay, Limited Run did it.
Yeah, I believe they did it back.
I'm probably going to be able to get a copy
the release for it was confirmed in July.
Okay.
So that's what happened. So if it's gonna happen, it's gonna be Limited Run.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's dope. I just can't wait. I had to get digitally.
It looks good. It looks good. I watched your review, and yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's great.
Robert has a really good point. 2021's looking good as fuck for RPGs.
I agree with that 100%.
Oh yeah,
there are 4. Yeah, Monster Hunter Rise, Stories 2.
Oh yeah, Monster Hunter Rise and Stories 2 look great.
SMT5, Scramble.
Maybe that comes out. Yeah, that's just the goated.
I'm still hoping Scramble's not next year. Please don't put that into the universe.
Okay.
Wait, you don't want it next year, or you want like your time?
I want it now.
Yeah, but and speaking of another game where we're kind of in this debate, what about Bravely Default 2?
That's next year. I 100% know that's next year. I'd put all my chips on that bet.
I feel like Bravely Default has more chances of making it in 2020 than Scramble.
I see January or February.
For Scramble, yeah.
Maybe both.
I don't mind.
That's probably the most likely, honestly. Yeah. Both of them being in January, February.
I don't mind anymore. I don't care. At least as long as I get them, that's the most important thing. I mean,
of course.
I want to play both. Release. So. Yeah. Did you guys play The Last of Us 2? I have another question.
I haven't even played the first one yet.
I've played the first one. I never played the second. Okay. I don't plan on it.
Yeah,
I'm just not like a fan of the series. That's all.
Yeah, same. The Last of Us is the game that I always bring up when there's that thing where they ask you which game do you not like that everyone likes, I always bring up Last of Us.
Oh,
It
that's
just
definitely the perfect pick.
didn't-
That or like Death Stranding.
Oh, it didn't click with me. Like, sorry, I can see the appeal, but it's not for me, not at all. I'd rather
So
play.
I played like. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just about to say I'd rather play Persona Dancing, which is random.
Oh,
But
Yeah, it's not like I dislike the game. It's just like I've played like a couple minutes on the PS3, so that technically doesn't count. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm playing
I
other games
think
right
the
now.
Ape Escape franchise is a better franchise than the Last of Us franchise when it comes to Sony franchises. That's just my personal perspective. Of course, not everyone's gonna feel the same way. Obviously,
Ape
it's just a
Escape.
personal. Ape Escape is so much fun. All three of the games, honestly. I know people don't like the third game much, but I like all three.
I like 3 more than 2 so far.
Yeah, it's so fun, and like,
But yeah, 1 is.
are the Last of Us games fun? I don't know. You see some of your favorite characters from the first game go ba ba in like a few minutes, so I'm not sure about that.
good point. Good point.
Yeah, like they tee off and hit a birdie, like,
Oh.
and then it ends up
Oh,
in the
man.
bunker. That's how the game went. The
It
ball
does
went
look
into the
really good
bunker.
though. I will say the graphics.
Oh yeah,
are amazing
graphically
on
the
that
game looks is stunning, honestly. But graphics don't make a game at the end of the day.
Yep. Obviously.
It's all about the gameplay.
I have to agree. That's why I love my Switch, and I play my Switch more than my PS4.
Me too. I play the Switch all the time. All the time. I even went back to playing Animal Crossing, honestly, lately. Like, just because it's like the Halloween season and it's time to like relax a little bit, so I don't know. I got back into it recently. It's good to play once in a while. I don't know how people play it all the time. Like people who play it every day, they it's like their morning coffee. They drink the coffee, they turn on their Animal Crossing, they kick their feet up. Oh, what happened to Hamlet? He's trying to leave my town, my island. What the hell? It's like I don't know how people do it every day.
I logged in for the first time in like a month yesterday, so.
For me, it was 3 months. I took some pictures of it. I'll be posting it on Twitter maybe like tomorrow or something. Like what happens when you don't go back to playing in 3 months in pictures. But it's still one of the best games of the year. I need to mention that as well. It is. It's just you can't play it in too big of a time frame. Like you can't play like 60 hours straight, or else you're just gonna be tired of it. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people, who, especially when the game first came out, they just play it like all day, every day for like the first like month or two, and then fell off because the Easter event and all the other events that came along with it weren't fun at all. They just weren't. So,
Fair
that's
enough.
like the one thing I feel with like that game, like that it wouldn't make it my game of the year, is I feel the DLC layout rollout could have been better if they had a better event than the Easter event right when the game released. I feel if they had something else, because like that really ruined it for a lot of people at that time. But after that, of course, people still play the game. I'm still playing the game. A bunch of people still play the game. People still buying the game. It's gonna hit 30 million if it hasn't already. Like
it's selling like crazy.
Yeah, it's selling a lot. So hey, if anything, that game at the Game Awards, in my opinion, not based on quality, because like I would say Ghost of Tsushima for quality overall, but Animal Crossing should win Game of the Year. What game do we know that sells 30 million in less than?
Yeah, it has chances of winning like Family Game or something.
But it can't do
Yeah,
that.
family game. I don't think it's game. I personally don't think it's game of the year material.
The family category is to throw all the Nintendo games in here and say screw it. That's literally what it is, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely done. I'm putting my foot down, Jeff Keighley. I don't know if you're listening, but I'm putting my foot down. We also don't want music performances. No Green Day. No Styx. We don't want anything. We're good. But next gen, definitely overall, I do think it has a potential. But the first year or two, overall, it's going to be a little tough, especially compared to Switch next gen, which is going to be in like 2 years probably, maybe 3.
That's another thing that I thought we could talk about for what's coming next for Switch.
Before we do, AI Somnia Files is one of the best games that came out in
Yeah.
2022. I love AI Somnia Files.
Oh yeah, I had to write that down as well when I saw the message here.
Yeah, King Narukami, AI Somnia Files is amazing.
Yep.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of
Story, the characters,
amazing.
the writing in that game is, in my opinion, one of the best written games of the generation. Not just me, but
No, no,
It's so
it's that good. Yeah, it is that good. Another game that is really good when it comes to visual novels on Switch that is criminally underrated is Raging Loop. It's a random game that I
I got
played.
that. Yo, right here. I got it.
You have it? I have the
No,
physical
listen,
as well.
Here, yeah, but I'll tell the story. I got this and Dusk Diver, physical collector's editions, day one editions by accident. So basically, I go to a GameStop and it's closing, and they have just the games, like not in the boxes. And then when I went up to the register, they actually gave me like the full
Nice.
boxes that it came with and all the perks and all that stuff that come with it. It's awesome, and I still haven't played it yet because
I need to play it, dude.
I have
It's-
games that are sitting around I haven't played yet while I'm playing through other games. So I'm waiting for the right time to play both of these. I
You
can't
need to
wait.
play Raging Loop. You need to play
Raging
Raging Loop. And fun fact, I had the same thing happen to me. Like I bought the Switch version on Amazon, and it was just a regular case, and I got the same box that you're holding, but for Switch. Same
that's
thing.
dope.
That was a great surprise when I got it.
Yeah, because like especially since you didn't know you were gonna be getting it in this box too, so you get all the perks and stuff. I really need to play those games because I have a bunch of other stuff still here just sitting around in plastic too. It's like I just need to play more. I need to be able to play more, but it's so hard whether busy with personal stuff, busy with content creating, all that kind of stuff. It's hard to keep track.
Oh, I gotcha. It's
Like
understandable.
hell, even with Persona 5 Royal, like I'm still surprised I have 120 hours in it, and it's like, when did I put the time in? Like, and that's like the only game that I'm like really putting time in as of late. So
Yeah. I have something that I want to talk about, and that's going to introduce the subject for the Switch Pro. Monster Hunter Rise is releasing in March, and it seems like the type of game that's going to push the system to its limit when it comes to performance and how the game looks and runs. It seems that way. We have seen Nintendo hardware launched with Monster Hunter games in the past with the 3DS, the new 3DS. Do you think it's possible that they do something similar with a new Switch, a Switch revision for Monster Hunter?
I don't think it's gonna. Well, go ahead, VC. You go first.
I just want to mention this. You know how I thought of it earlier today. You know how everything is like limited time till March 31st or something? I feel like either on the 31st or the next day at the start of the new fiscal year, that if they were to drop a new console, which I still don't feel 100% positive on that, I feel that date would be the best date for at least a revision, not a brand new console. Like people are like, oh, the Switch Pro is gonna be next gen. No, the Switch Pro is a revision. I feel like a lot of people are gonna make that assumption that's next gen if it were to be a real thing. But as a revision, I feel on April 1st, something like that would happen for Monster Hunter Rise and Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4 2 to 3 years from now because they're still hiring people.
Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up anytime soon. But yeah, man, that would be cool. There's a lot of reasons why. Again, March feels weird. I tweeted about that today. I mean, what's going on with March 31st? It's been a lot of things, and recently, March 31st, limited until March 31st. A lot of things.
Yep. A lot of things. Overall, I think the reason why everything's happening on that day is because, as I just mentioned, there could be a possibility that maybe Nintendo has something big coming on that day. Maybe that drops, and then they have on the same day N64 Online, where they have Mario 64 and a couple other games, and then they throw Sunshine and Galaxy 2 on the eShop for 30 to 60 a piece, and I don't know. I feel stuff like that would be possible. I'm still annoyed that Super Mario Bros. 35 is supposedly being taken off, which I think that's the worst offender of all of them, because it's a free game for Switch Online members. Why get rid of it? It doesn't make sense. But I don't know. What do I know?
To talk about Monster Hunter though, I think.
Sorry, I went off topic. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. I think the best the most we're gonna get is probably like an exclusive bundle, like like a skin or something with the current Switch that's currently here. I don't really see Nintendo doing a Switch Pro. I think they just wanna, in a couple years, just do like the Switch 2 or whatever the next console is gonna be. But that's just me. I don't see it.
I feel you, because like I don't see it like happening myself. I personally don't. I agree wholeheartedly. But if it were to happen, it would be on that day, if it were to happen.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I have a theory actually for the end of March. I don't think, and that's because of the Fire Emblem announcement today that I'm having this theory, and I've been thinking about it since the announcement. It's weird. It's weird that they're taking off the All-Star collections on the 31st digital store. It doesn't make any sense. It's the same thing for Fire Emblem. It doesn't make sense. And it's the first time that they're releasing an older game separately, not on the online service, just releasing it on the eShop. What if they're just going to release the Mario game separately, the Fire Emblem game, and what if they just drop the Virtual Console in March?
Virtual Console, you just purchase them like individually.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. All of that, is that a coincidence? I don't know.
I never really thought of that. That's actually like a really good point.
yeah, but I'm not sure about Virtual Console. I feel like that ship has left and sailed.
It's
to be
either-
honest, just because they're very confident in the eShop and having the bountiful indies to help suffice, as well as the new games, third parties, and yes, it is very flooded on the eShop. It's hard to find whatever you're looking for unless you're searching for it directly.
Oh yeah, it's
But
trash.
at the same time, if they were to do Virtual Console, no one will turn on the eShop at all at this point because of how flooded it is. So I feel like they also know that. I think they do, especially at this point. They're definitely solidified in we're not going to do Virtual Console. We may bring some games back on Switch Online and stuff, which is why on April 1st, I think 64 online is very possible. But I don't think this would be like 10 games or 20 games. It's going to be like 6 games. It's going to be like Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Donkey Kong, Super Smash Bros, Star Fox, Kirby. That's it.
You
That's
forgot
all
it.
it is.
You forgot a random filler game though. There has to be
A
one.
random killer
100
game.
definitely.
Gex.
Superman
Yeah.
64.
WWE.
64 or Gex. It's gotta be one of them.
Yeah. I don't.
Buck Bumble. Imagine. Oh my god.
Oh man.
But
Yeah.
that's how I see it. I just don't see a full Virtual Console being a thing. I would love that, but with the way
Yeah.
Nintendo's been very full of pride when it comes to the eShop, but not prideful enough to clean it, it's one of those things where they're just gonna stick to their guns. In my opinion, I would love to see Virtual Console. I love the Virtual Console on my Wii. My Wii U Virtual Console is amazing. Hey, I have Prime Trilogy. Everyone else is waiting another year or two till that comes out on Switch.
Yeah.
It's me. I
If-
don't have a Wii U. It sucks.
Hey,
man.
it's easy. It's on Wii too.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I bet I do have a Wii, but I'd rather just play it on the Switch. I'll just wait.
Yeah.
Speaking of something that is on the Wii U that isn't on Switch, Netflix. That's
Yeah.
Nintendo
What's
just
up with
mentioned.
that,
Point.
though?
At this point, when it comes to Switch, I'm done with like waiting for video apps and stuff.
Same.
Like that kind of thing. It's like it's a game machine. I
Yeah.
just want folders for my games. Like that. That's how I am. So I like organizing my games. I like doing that.
I just like the convenience. I just don't have to switch channels. I can go to YouTube. I have 700 hours in the app because I
Yeah, I
always
saw
use the
that.
YouTube app on the
Yo,
Switch.
that is insane. I've seen a ton of people where it's like I don't know how 100 hours, 200 hours, 700 hours on YouTube, and I'm just like, if you're watching YouTube on your Switch, then what are you playing on, like a console? I guess I would assume, right? So like you'd be playing PS4 while you have YouTube on the Switch, for example. Because like for me, it'd be like I'd be playing the game on my Switch, and then I'd be
Watching
watching
YouTube,
YouTube
same.
on PC or on my TV or something, on my PS4 or something.
Same. It's the same thing for me. Same thing. If they're going to do the Switch revision in 2021, when are they going to announce it?
I think they would announce it. Well, shoot, March.
In
A lot of
March?
stuff's happening in March. Yeah, they'll announce
Maybe
it in
early
March.
March. I think early March.
Early March and released on the 31st?
Yep. And they're gonna have all the shipments, like all the supply, already ready by the beginning of March. They're just gonna be start sending it out.
Oh, it's gonna leak first if they do it that way.
It's gonna leak. You think it's gonna leak? It would have already leaked, I think, because like it's already been in the works. I'm pretty sure, like constructing it. Because I don't know if anyone remembers, the ever elusive Switch Lite leak, where
Oh yeah.
the blue case, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's fake. Oh, that's not real." 4 or 5 months later, we see it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I thought
then
it was just
we're-
like a fit case or something for the Switch.
Yeah,
at
just you
first.
fit it around and just change the color or something. But
Yeah.
it's around that same time frame coming up, or around now, honestly. So if anything were to be leaking, it could be anytime soon. And there's a lot of people who are more notarized in the community, like Nate the Hate, for example, who's mentioned, and MVG. They mentioned how it's very likely that a revision could happen in 2021 for sure. And I do see it being a possibility, but I personally, in my heart of hearts, don't see it happening. But if it were, they would announce it in like March. April will be the release. April 1st.
Well, I got that Monster Hunter / new hardware theory from them actually. So yeah, they're very informative, and yeah, I know that they're always speculating on that. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to happen at some point. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm not hyped for a revision, or necessarily I don't need it per se. If they do it. You do?
Yeah, the reason why I need it, not for the graphics, honestly, but for the overheating that the Switch always does. Not to say, like, all Switches do it, but, like, if you're playing a more intense game, let's say you're playing Breath of the Wild, let's say you're playing Luigi's Mansion, let's say you're playing Ghostbusters Remastered, like, it's gonna overheat. You're gonna hear the fan. It's gonna go.
Yeah.
Not like the PS4 jet engine, but it's not anywhere near as bad as that. But like, if you're holding it in your hands playing a handheld, the last thing you want is for your hands to feel really hot from playing a video game. Even in Animal Crossing, if you're playing that for longer than an hour, yeah, it's heating up for sure.
Oh, anything. I played Stardew Valley this week, and it was overheating.
Valley?
Yeah.
That's the culprit of heating? Because, like, I've played that game, but I never played it for, like, too long, to be honest. I played it for a bit. I need to get back to it.
Yeah, I played it for maybe a bit too long, but it started to overheat at some point. Always in portable mode, though. It's so loud when you hear it in your hands, like, and you can feel the air coming out. It's, yeah. And at first, when I was playing the Switch, it feels like the older the console gets, the louder it gets. I don't know if that's the case for you guys as well, but when I first got it, it took a while before I started to hear the fan. It wasn't that loud at first.
I think that's how it is with most fans in general, because over time, internally, it's gonna, from the spinning, it not wears out, but if you play it a lot, and if you're using very high taxing games, the fan will always move at a faster acceleration, so because of that, it will eventually wear out, and then by doing so, it may sound louder. And with dust can get in there. Not saying there's dust in your Switch. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, over time, debris. It's like 3 years that, like, many of us have had our Switches, or 2 years. You know what I mean? So we've had our Switches for a while now too, as well.
Yeah, I don't think
we know the quality of the Joy-Con, so the quality of the Switch fan doesn't surprise me.
Right there.
Let's not talk about this. It's not an issue. There's no issue.
Well, it is if we're talking Switch Pro, because those Joy-Cons better not have those thin graphite plates underneath those damn joysticks, or I'll blow a gasket. Like, literally, all they need to do is make it thicker. That's all they need to do.
Yeah.
It's literally super thin. I remember when John from Spawnwave did a video showing it, and it's like literally the plate's so thin, it doesn't surprise me that it like it moves and goes everywhere.
Yeah, and people
it's
in the
hard
chat
to even play like Super Smash Bros. Sometimes you do inputs and it's like impossible to do the input you want once in a while.
Absolutely, and we're not the only ones having this issue. You know, in the chat, the people are talking about their experiences. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem.
Definitely.
Whether they say it or not, it is a problem. What are you guys expecting if they were to do a revision? Because that's also, I think, pretty much everyone is agreeing on the fact that we'll get a revision at some point. But no one seems to agree on what is going to be the revision. Like I think that
1080p screen, full HD, and handheld, that'd be perfect. And in terms of like software, I think like an upgrade to the UI would be like better, because the UI runs at 720p as well, even on dock mode. I think that just a little brush up, and just in terms of like hardware, just 1080p handheld would be perfect. I saw somebody in the chat
here. I don't want to cut you off. I just want to mention what people are not going to want to hear is it's going to be 30 frames per second for most of the time. I think that
depends on the game.
It depends on the game, of course. But like, I think I've heard that like most of the time when you're in handheld mode, it's 30 FPS. That's why I'm mentioning it. Like if it's going to be 1080p handheld, I think it's going to still be 30 FPS for most games in handheld. it's not gonna be like 60 FPS upgrades or up-reses for everything. Because I know a lot of people think that everything should just be upgraded if they were trying to do that.
I think games that run at 30 FPS, like Breath of the Wild, are still going to be 30 FPS. Games like
Yeah.
Smash and well, I can't think of any other 60 FPS game right now, but those will be probably the same 60 FPS or something. I don't see 144 hertz at all. I don't see that on the
Yeah,
Switch,
that's not
but-
happening. In
And
our dreams.
themes, yeah.
Yo, themes. I see folders happening before themes, but I think that's because I want folders so bad.
I think I just
want.
want more colors for the background. It's just black and white right now. I'd like a purple or a red. or
How are we
something.
not able to use our pictures as backgrounds? I have no idea.
Screenshots? Yeah.
Like literally, like we have screenshots. If they just have an option, use a screenshot for a background, boom, no one will complain anymore.
Yep.
Oh, that's literally it.
That would be great.
Yeah, and
I'm-
at that point, people can have their own custom Switch, like with whatever the background they want. Like that's all they really want at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like just a background that's nice, that suits them, that makes the Switch their own.
Yeah. Also, I use the dark theme. I don't know about y'all, but
Who
same.
doesn't use Dark Theme? Let's be honest. if you don't use Dark Theme, you definitely gotta find the nearest asylum, admit yourself real quick, and realize the error in your wrongs. Because the light layout, oh my god, it's very glaring to the eyes.
Yeah.
You'll look at it for like 5 minutes, just trying to choose a game. It's like, nah, I'm good. I'm done playing video games. Like it burns your eyes. It will tear out your retina.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I want to give you guys my opinion on the matter, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it afterwards. I don't even expect those things. I don't expect big things. I expect like some type of upgrade similar to the new 3DS and improved build quality. That's the thing that I'm sure they're going to improve on. Like overall, the Switch, as time goes on, it feels clunky. It feels clunky. Like it feels like the Joy-Cons are going to get off at some point, at some times, and that again, the Joy-Con drift, all of those things, they have to make it work. They have to improve the overall quality, the fan, all of that. They just need to improve everything. Maybe give it a better screen. All of that, maybe better speakers, things like that. Small things, better battery life would be really cool and would work, in my opinion.
There's one thing I want to mention though, but like the thing is, if it was like a jump like the new Nintendo 3DS, then that would mean that there would be some exclusive games on the platform.
oh no.
If that's what you're implying as well, because that's the thing. New Nintendo 3DS had a handful of exclusives. There's Minecraft, there's Xenoblade, before Definitive Edition, when it looked worse than the Wii version. Yeah,
Minecraft
I
is
personally
a
don't see
new
that.
3DS exclusive?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
I didn't know
it's
that.
only, it's only exclusive for the new 3DS.
Okay. Oh,
I
interesting.
think that'd be a terrible idea if they did that.
Me too. I
Made
think it wouldn't be
Switch,
smart if they made it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I think if they are to do this big upgrade, they better wait until the revision.
Yeah,
Because I don't want them to
definitely.
split the games. Like, a lot of people bought the Switch, and obviously we would double dip, but a lot of people won't, so...
Oh yeah, especially if someone just got their Switch like not even like a week ago. They'll be
Yeah.
like, "What? Are you kidding me?" Like after 3 years of not having a Switch and seeing everyone play it, and the new console or revisions coming, it's like, what the hell?
Mm,
That's
yeah.
what they'll be
It would be frustrating.
for them. Definitely frustrating for sure.
No, I don't think they're going to go that route anyways, so...
Yeah, I don't think it's not a good idea anyway, because you got like 60 million Switches out there. If you get a Switch Pro or whatever that only plays games on the Switch Pro, you're starting over on your install base. So
Right, and that's if it counts as a new platform for next gen and not as a revision. So
that's why I think they should just wait for the Switch too. In my
exactly,
opinion.
I feel you on that. Especially since the sales have been honestly on an upturn, even though they've already been going up anyway. So the fact that like if you look on like sales charts, it's literally curving upward. It's selling out everywhere, especially when the pandemic started and all that. It just went. It was out of product. It was out of sale out of a lot of places, out of stock and stuff because it's sold out. And it's very possible that it can even reach 100 million for sure in like 2 more years.
Yeah.
I think I can see that happening, and they'll want to hope to at least get 100 million. I think before they go next gen. But hey, if they waited another year and it's some more good games, they could maybe hit 120 and beat them.
Ooh, that's almost PS2 levels there. That's...
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there.
It's doing very impressive numbers. Very impressive numbers. Every single month, I'm like, oh man, that's crazy.
Yep. Just always number one. Always number one every time.
And they have some big things coming. Like we've been talking about 2021 for most of this podcast, but man, they're going to have a great year.
And then they still got stuff after that: Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, Breath of the Wild 2. Those are the big three for me. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's definitely big for sure.
Now, speaking of next year, I want to know what are you guys' predictions for. We talked about it kind of quickly. I want to go a bit more in depth and hearing your thoughts on the matter. The Zelda 35th anniversary next year, and I'm talking here about the games, but we can talk about everything else: the merch, the announcements, the coverage of, let's say, an upcoming game, anything. What are you guys predicting for Zelda next year?
It's either going to be like a collection, like we were talking about earlier, of the older Zelda games, or Breath of the Wild 2 gets some sort of new thing or something, and it's confirmed to come next year. That's what I think.
Okay. And if they are to do a collection, what are they going to put on it?
Oh, yeah. So it's definitely going to be Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. Those are a lock, I think. Skyward Sword, I don't know. I feel like that would have a lot more work done to it, but I think they do like a trilogy. They can just, like V-CiPz, they can pull into that little Triforce pun or whatever. So yeah, I can definitely see that. Skyward Sword. But then they could also go even further and like, bring Ocarina of Time as well. So I don't know. Or maybe they just ditch Skyward Sword and put Ocarina of Time in there instead. I don't know.
I think both of those are possible, whether it has Skyward Sword and or Ocarina. I think both of those possibilities are definitely have a chance of happening. Overall, though, how I see things, actually, you know how, like, for the 35th anniversary of Mario, they had a couple extra things here or there to, like, bring up the year and the anniversary, and Zelda's the second biggest. Like, we're not in regards to, like, Pokemon in the mix. We're just talking Nintendo first party exclusive. Mario and Legend of Zelda, those are the two pivotal franchises that Nintendo has had since the very beginning, and I see that they may do some extra stuff for The Legend of Zelda. Like, for example, it just popped up in my head just now. Maybe the reason why Mario 35 is leaving is because Zelda 35 is happening. I don't know. It just came up in my head, a random idea. But, like, what if that happens? They add something like that. Or maybe they bring back bow training and put it on the Switch and make a new game out of it, like for fun, or for online. I don't know. There's a lot of potential, I think, with 35th anniversary.
I agree.
I don't think they're gonna treat it like Kid Icarus and not care about it.
Yeah,
because that's also happening next year. So.
But I agree, but I don't feel like they have to take off Mario because of Zelda. Like,
oh yeah, they shouldn't have to take it off, but at the same time, it's like that idea just popped up in my head. Maybe that's why they're taking it off, because they're putting a new one up. So
yeah,
and it would play totally different, obviously.
I have a different take on it. Obviously, the collection makes sense, and I agree. But I don't think they're going to go. I don't think they're going to do this favor to us. I think they're going to do it $60, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, which, don't get me wrong, it's great, and another $60 for Skyward Sword later.
I really hope not. I really hope they just go limited release physical $60 and I'll just pick it up. At this point, let's be honest, that the FOMO works on a lot of people depending on if it's something that they're interested in. Like Fire Emblem, like I'm not the craziest Fire Emblem fan. Like I like Three Houses. I've played Shadow Dragon on the DS, which is the actual Shadow Dragon. I annoyed someone earlier today on Twitter about that earlier, where it was like when I was talking about how the remake is like a thing and it's like people forgot about it. It's like they could have the DS game on Switch if they wanted originally. Like they put a bunch of DS games on Switch. A bunch of Capcom put Mega Man Zero and a ton of games. So it's possible to do that. World Ends With You's on the Switch. So a DS game could definitely have been on the Switch. They could have done that version, which is more fine-tuned. It's more up to snuff when it comes to quality of life changes too. But I can totally understand why people want the original for the localized version, because it's the original Fire Emblem, and they just want to have a localized version.
And we never
So
had.
I totally understand in that regard they want to pick it up.
Yeah, but I have to agree that the DS version aged way better than the Famicom version, obviously for obvious reasons. Like
Yep,
it's
for the
way
quality of
easier.
life stuff.
Yeah, obviously it's way easier to get back to than. And I mean, a few months back, I was watching videos on Fire Emblem. After playing Three Houses, I was like really into FE, and people were saying that Shadow Dragon is not necessarily a great place to go back to, and they were talking about the DS version. And now those same people are excited about the Famicom version. I mean, man, what were you saying? What were you saying a few months back?
Hypocritical or
Yeah, I mean,
backwards.
I don't know. I mean, it feels a bit wrong to me. But hey, let's on a happier note. What game announcement would make you go crazy? And you don't have any restrictions. Anything doesn't have to be likely at all. I know that I saw like Jack Bros 2 in the chat. That is a possibility. That is the type of thing that you can tell me at the moment. Anything.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just do the most realistic one. Shin Megami Tensei 6. Okay, I want them to skip 5 and go to 6. That's what I want to see. No, I'm joking. Honestly, man, that's a hard question for me right now because really all the games that I really want have been announced. SMT 5.
That's great.
Well, I mean, just Persona 6, I guess. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I mentioned
Persona
earlier.
6.
I can't wait. Wait, you know what we should talk about? We could probably talk about this for a solid 10 minutes. What color will the game be? I think it could be green, purple, or orange.
I
One
think
of
probably
those
the least attractive out of all those three. But
You
I
think
could
green
see,
will be the least attractive?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, but if it's like a Y green, you know, a Y from Persona 5, the arms dealer.
Oh yeah.
I'd be that color green, not like a dark green, but like a vibrant, bright green. Kind of like how your profile picture on Discord has Crash with the green eye. Kind of like that kind of green.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I feel like something like that could work. And if it's purple, it'd be like a bright neon purple. I don't know. I feel like that kind of matters. To me, I know it sounds weird, but like Persona 3 was blue, Persona 4 Golden's yellow. Like we already went through the primary colors, so like green, purple, and orange have to be next. They're not primary, so they're the in-betweens. I know we're just going on a tangent on colors on Persona. Debbie Crow's like mono green. Yeah, maybe. Definitely could be possible.
We can't predict that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I had this question in my. People have been asking me to make Persona 6 videos for a while, and I don't know what to say. I mean, the game's far away. I'm into that SMT5.
I'm considering doing that too, honestly. Like, cause like I've had someone mention that to me, and it's like, I would just be talking about things I want to see, and that's it.
Basically,
that's like most of the videos.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I want to see in Persona 6 Part 1? And I'll just keep making different parts and say like 3 things I want to see in the video, make it last 10 minutes, and then that's it.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate about the colors. I can't do it. I mean,
it's not a lot. It's not enough to go off of.
No,
of course. It's all just conjecture conversation because it's obviously no way we can make a proper guess on what it would be. It would be just us having conjecture.
Exactly. Well, Persona 6 is a great pick. Is there anything else that you guys would make you go crazy?
I got one. A remake or a sequel to Crash Bash on the PS1. I think that'd be fantastic. That's like one of my childhood games, Crash Bash, and the whole Crash trilogy. So
that doesn't feel too unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was gonna be a part of Crash 4, to be honest, as like a multiplayer mode. But man, it's like he's popular now. I mean, I don't know. That's like something I would just go crazy for. I can't really think of anything else because, like I said, a lot of the games I want are already like announced. I'm just waiting for more news at this point.
Pokemon Stadium 3. That would be lit. Anyone here play Pokemon Stadium?
Oh yeah, it's great.
I've seen some of the first one. Yeah.
Yo, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 are literally some of the best games on the N64. That should be on Switch Online, but that would never happen.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
That game they would just not put on.
It would be great though.
Oh yeah.
I can't.
Like, if that were to come back with 3, it'd be insane. They would have like the story mode, the mode where you play with friends, the arena where you do the challenge cups, and you can insert your Switch cart to play on your TV. For those who know, back in the day, you would plug in the game pack to your N64 controller,
the Game Boy games,
and then you'd plug in your Game Boy games, usually Pokemon, in to play it on the TV.
Yeah.
You already could play those games on your TV already, so
yeah, it was cool.
not much you could do there. Stadium's lit, definitely. Demicro, definitely lit.
I unfortunately can't get excited about Pokemon anymore, and I've tried. Like, I really tried.
See,
I
feel you. I 100% agree, and that's why, like, literally, SMT and Persona has been like the saving grace of my life. Like, all hell Lilith, all hell Loki.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, I'm not
no
gonna
cap.
lie. I'll try maybe an older Pokemon game, but man, after
Yo,
Sword and
the
Shield, I
older
think
ones,
I'm
yeah,
done.
yeah. You guys gotta play the older ones, like from 5th gen to lower. Don't like 6th gen, 7th gen, and 8th gen are very hit and miss, and mostly misses.
Yeah,
I
after
mean-
Sword and Shield, I think I'm
And
done.
I've played Pokemon extensively, 500 hours in all the games except
Mhm.
Sword and Shield, and except a handful of others. Like I didn't like Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. I didn't like Ultra Sun and Moon.
Well,
Like
That's where I dropped. I dropped on Gen 5. Like, I played all the other ones, and I played 5, and then I dropped.
yeah, after 5,
I
right?
tried them. When I say I dropped, it's I played the story, and it's not memorable. I'm not going back anytime soon to those games. It's,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I played it,
I can
but
totally
that's it.
understand that because like the story in the games are good in Gen 5, but it's the way it hooks you in. It doesn't work for everyone, especially the beginning of the game. And the rivals are very hit and miss for a lot of people. So I can see that. Me personally, I love playing randomized Nuzlocke and like randomizing everything. So like if I'm on Route 2, I face a Regice and I'm using a Caterpie as my starter, and it's like, oh crap, I may be done already. Like I like changing it up, making it tougher because, as you guys may know, Pokemon games are definitely not tough.
No,
That's
they're
for
not.
sure.
Yeah.
Especially
Except that
with Crown Tundra, it's 100% catch rate for catching legendaries. The point of capturing legendaries is to have a challenge, and they're like, "Oh no, we're just gonna make things as easy for you as possible." And it's like, this is why people who used to play the games don't play them anymore now. And then people make the argument, "Oh, the games are meant for kids." Then why does all these adults stream these games on Twitch and on YouTube?
yeah.
Adults,
Mhm.
grown adults, 20 to 30 to 40-year-old men and women. So that's why, like, anytime I hear someone say it's for kids, no, it's not. It's meant to be for everyone. And in Generation 5, they had the challenge mode where you could up the difficulty in the game. And they only had it in that generation, which is very disappointing that it never came back.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
it'd
feel-
be nice to get a Pokemon Stadium for next gen. That'd be a big surprise for me. But aside from that, it was announced today. Have you guys heard of Drawn to Life?
Yeah, I saw
Never
that.
heard of it.
It was shown today, and I literally lost my mind. It was such a great game on the DS. One of the hidden gems for sure.
Oh, really? I never played it. I know what it is, but I never played it.
Yeah, like when I played it, like stuff in the game reminded me of like Kingdom Hearts with like shadows and like enemies like that. And then like the story itself is actually pretty good, and how you can actually draw stuff in the game and like use your own character you create. I don't know, it's lit, very lit,
Nice.
very underrated.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, so that's another one, but that happened today, so I already had my shock moment earlier.
Awesome. Well, one of my at least my pick that I would have, and I'm unfortunately uncertain if it's going to happen at some point because it's from Capcom, and Capcom focuses on, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, and
I think I know where you're going with this.
I want a new Ace Attorney game
Yes,
so much.
I love Ace Attorney. Oh my god.
Oh man, I replayed. It's crazy. I'm crazy. I replayed all the games this year. I replayed all
On
of
Switch,
them.
right?
Yeah, well, 1, 2, 3 on Switch, and then the other ones
Yeah.
on 3DS. Yeah.
Yeah, on Switch, I know a lot of people enjoy the original pixel art style, but I think it looks clean on the Switch though.
Yes, really.
It does look clean.
Really, really clean. I think it looks even better at this. Honestly, I played this trilogy. Then I played
Agreed.
Apollo Justice on DS because it's the only place where it's available here in the West. So I played it there.
Right.
And man, no, the new art style is great. I would definitely want a new game in that art style. That would be sick. And I think the
Me
trilogy did really well on PS4 and Switch. So
Oh, yeah.
I felt like it
It's
could
so
happen.
hot.
Yeah, I felt like it could happen. But again, I mean, Capcom, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to
Hey,
think
sometimes
of them.
Capcom does good things like release Okami for $20, and then there's bad things like sell a game without like the full download for like $50. Like it depends. They're very hit or miss when it comes to their
Yeah.
releases, when it comes to how it affects the consumer.
Yep.
And
Or Street Fighter without a single player.
yeah,
Yeah,
Oh.
that's right. That's the way that you should describe them. I think. Yeah, hit and miss for Capcom, and I
when it
really
comes to releasing stuff, like
Yep.
and how they
yeah, because
Of course,
their
the games
releases
are
are
great,
great.
but-
Exactly, the games are great. The re-releases are always great. It's just that how they do it doesn't always work.
right.
I
think
think a new Dragon's Dogma would be pretty hype.
Oh, that'd be insanely high. I love that.
Yeah.
that first
love
game
to
is
see
still
that.
on my backlog, unfortunately.
I've
actually-
missing out. It's actually really good. Like
Yeah.
I like it more than The Witcher 3. I don't care if anyone goes and hunts me down. I'm gonna probably put that in a hot takes video. But Dragon's Dogma is way better than The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 is a good game, but it's not as good as Dragon's Dogma. Not at all.
Hey
I don't know
boy,
if anyone else feels the same as me. If anyone in the chat feels the same.
I never
I
played
don't know.
Witcher.
Oh, you never played it?
I
Witcher
never.
3 is a good game. I have it right here, the Switch version. I have it, not still in the box, but I still got the box.
Oh,
It
nice.
has I still have all the DLC to play in the game. I haven't done the DLC yet, but I beat the game. That's really it.
Captain Chaz in the chat says that the Phoenix Wright trilogy sold 8 million on iPhone and another 5 on Android. That's
That
a
is-
lot.
And
Yeah.
and that's just on those platforms. So
That's
imagine on
crazy. Like that's easily 20 millions with all
Oh, yeah.
all together, like PC, consoles. Is it on Xbox? It's on PS4, Switch, and PC.
I'm not sure if it's on.
I don't know
Xbox.
if it's on
That's a good
Xbox.
question.
I'll check it out real quick. I don't think so.
I didn't know it was that big of a series. But then again, the only thing I know about Phoenix Wright is in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, so...
Which is how
Ultimate
he'd
Marvel.
play in Smash if he came. To
Oh man, which is
Yeah.
why isn't he in Smash already? There's no reason.
be
Yes, the game's on
amazing to
Xbox. The trilogy's on Xbox as well.
Oh,
It's
God.
everywhere.
I'm not sure if anyone bought it on Xbox, but
Oh, that's another question. Yeah, they're on mobile as well, and the Ace Attorney trilogy is also on 3DS. Like
Yeah.
most people don't know that, but it is there. It's everywhere. That's Capcom here. Portcom here for you guys. It's everywhere.
Yep. And
40
at good
bucks.
prices for that game. That game, $30 for that game on Switch, totally worth it.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's base price. It didn't like release at 60 or anything, charging
Nope.
20 for each game. Like, and they actually updated the graphics and they actually added stuff in on like another
Yep.
collection that came out by a bigger company and development studio that rhymes with Extendo. I don't know, but
Don't know what you're talking about.
neither do I. I don't know. I think I'm only looking in 2D, not 3D right now.
Yeah.
I'm only seeing stars.
And the best thing, the Ace Attorney trilogy isn't limited. You can actually buy it today.
Anytime, anywhere. It's been on the eShop for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Almost.
Oh no, yeah, Riku, you should definitely check those games out. They're amazing. The stories in those games, man, they're
Yeah,
top
I'm
tier for
definitely
me.
interested.
Really, really
Yeah,
good games.
you
Like,
definitely should. The writing is amazing, especially with how it works as a game. Like there is point and click moments because it is mystery based. You're an Ace Attorney, but you have to also try and look for clues to figure out things in the case. And then when you're actually in the cases, you need to try and figure your way out of certain scenarios and to see if people are lying. And it's great. It's awesome. Like
No,
just
yeah.
talking about it makes me want to play it more.
yeah, absolutely same. We quickly talked about it, but Smash. I want to hear you guys' top 3 most wanted Smash characters, but I want 2 crazy picks and 1 likely in quotations pick. So 1 likely, 2 crazy picks for Smash.
Okay, so my likely pick is Crash Bandicoot and Coco as a skin. I mean, I said that before Steve got announced, but I really want this guy in Smash. I feel like, in my opinion, he's the last. I know there are a lot more, but in my opinion, he's the last holdout in terms of like 90s, like not sixth generation, 5th generation icons and stuff like that. I feel like he's one of the last holdouts, so I want to see him. My 2 unlikely picks. One of them would be like a character from Phantasy Star, Ethan Weber. I don't know if anybody in the chat recognizes Ethan Weber, but I think that'd be cool. And let's see. for my last unlikely pick, a Shin Megami Tensei character. I mean, that's kind of messed up because it seems like it should be likely, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But I hope it does. And if it has to be an SMT character, I think I'd like the new protagonist.
Yep.
Or Demi-Fiend. Either or is fine.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah,
Great picks. Crash has to make it in at some point.
bro, it's
hope.
got to, man. Oh my god, I freak out.
Like imagine Steve being in Smash and not fucking Crash.
Right?
What
Right? So
timeline
he's got to
are
be one of
we
these
in?
characters. So I'm gonna record every single presentation they have, just in case he's the one, which he will be. It's got to happen.
Well, you know what is the most likely?
Let's hear it.
It's a very, very likely pick. Probably being shown in March or April. It's the Monster Hunter from Monster Hunter Rise specifically. Rise specifically. I mentioned it once before, and someone's like, "Oh, it would just be a regular Monster Hunter with abilities from all the games." What? Why? Because like this game's been in development for like 2 to 3 years, as our friend OJ for Player Essence has been doing coverage on for a while, and it definitely could have been 2 years ago where they've been talking about the characters for like who could be in the game, because for those who may know or not know, Rathalos from Monster Hunter is already in Smash as a boss, so they already have ties to the Smash game, Smash Ultimate already. So I feel like that's very likely. But when it comes to surprise picks, like to shock, like as you were saying, Katana Rikku and David, I would say Crash and Sora for sure. Sora would make you go, "Holy shit, Disney!
They
is
did
finally
it.
doing something right. Disney doing something right."
I think that would break Twitter, just like Steve
Oh, it totally would break Twitter. I couldn't even tweet for 6 minutes straight
Yep.
did. Yeah.
when that happened. It's like,
Same.
wow. And then when my tweet finally went through, no one saw it. I was like, all right, might as well delete it.
Oh yeah.
I like Tetsuno Miura's art style, so I think that there should be more. Well, I would be happy with another character like Cloud using his art style in Smash. So
Yo, but Sora in Smash would be broken. I'm letting you guys know. He'd be broken. Absolutely broken. He would be in the air doing combos to you, pushing you all the way to the corner of the screen. And then he'll do glide to make his way back.
Yeah, probably. Oh, well, you guys have cool picks. Actually, the only one that I had in mind that you mentioned is the SMT rep. And yes, the SMT5 Pro Tag seems the most likely. But those characters have so much potential. Like with demon summoning and the different type of spells that they can do. Like, oh man, there's a lot of potential here. Unlike you though, that was part of my likely picks. So I feel like an SMT rep, whether it's the SMT5 protagonist or anyone else, is kind of likely. I mean, SMT is an iconic series. Like,
That's true.
and it's been proven that we can have multiple third-party reps. So the fact that Joker is in doesn't make it impossible for us to get an SMT mainline SMT rep. So I feel like it's possible. Other picks, actually, Phoenix Wright. I don't understand why he's not in already. It would be amazing. He can be a fighter. He's in Marvel vs. Capcom. He's in that Project X Zone on 3DS as well. So yeah, bring him in. There's no reason why he's not in. And plus, you could do an amazing reveal trailer with him. So yeah.
Oh, it just looks like an Ace Attorney game and in Smash all of a sudden.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And he's talking to Mario, or defending Mario, or whatever, or interrogating.
Oh man, that would be so cool. So yeah, Phoenix Wright, and less likely, but that I would really want is a Yakuza rep. So
That'd be sick.
I would prefer Majima because Majima's GOAT, but Kiryu would be sick as well to be in Smash. I mean, he has his place in, definitely. Just the Yakuza reps would be amazing.
Are they similar enough that they could be skins?
Yeah.
Would that make sense?
Echo Fighter, they could definitely do it, or a skin, they could do it. I would go crazy. I would go
both
crazy.
in there, honestly.
Yep. But I mean, I know that there's some mature rated characters in Smash, but they have Majima in, like, he's on a whole nother level. Like, honestly, like this man would stab Isabelle without any thinking beforehand, like without any hesitation. That would be so cool. Yeah, any of,
Oh
of those
man,
streaming,
yeah.
I would go crazy. The Smash, I mean, I'm not even the biggest. I tweeted about that last week. Like, I'm not the biggest Smash player. I suck real hard at the game, but I really like the game. And every announcement, it's always an exciting event. So it's always fun to talk about Smash and to play Smash.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I just love the Smash trailer so much, man.
Yeah.
I only got in Ultimate, so the Ultimate's the first one I played. But man, it's just so much fun to see like everybody tune in and just get hyped, and then Twitter blows up whenever the new characters announced. And that's why I was glad that there are more characters on the way because they can just keep the hype going. I'm just,
Oh,
I just
yeah.
like that. It's really fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a good question in the chat that I want to answer. And welcome to the stream, Vic Plaza. The question's from him. Actually, he says, hello, guys. Do you think Xbox is going to improve JRPGs for the next generation? Do you think, I mean, I think he's thinking about, do you think we'll get more JRPG support on the platform? More Japanese
well,
support in general.
I think they're doing it well. They're definitely making some pushes. Like I actually talked about this in a video about a week ago, but they have Dragon Quest XI coming to the system, which I think is just crazy because Dragon Quest is the game that popularized JRPGs in Japan, and it's coming to the Xbox, which is an American console. And I mean they're definitely pushing because they also, and I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but they have a mascot for the Xbox Series S in Japan, which is like this futuristic looking techno girl or whatever, and I think it's pretty cool. But I think they're really working, but I don't know how long that's gonna last. So
Same.
yeah,
They're
it's
definitely
definitely gonna be
trying.
better than this gen though.
Yeah, they're trying.
yeah,
They're probably going to do better. Like, it's not going to be a 4K DVD player anymore.
Oh yeah,
But it's not going to do, like, we're not going to see the biggest games day one, like a Persona 6 or like a Shin Megami Tensei. Like, I know that people are hoping for SMT9 to come back,
yeah,
but
yeah, I saw that in the chat.
all of those things, I'm not sure. I don't think they're extremely likely. I would definitely like it though. I want Xbox to succeed, and I even would like to buy an Xbox because that backwards compatibility is a massive appeal to me. It's just that if Sony does it, it's so much better for me. Like, I mean, if Sony accepts backwards compatibility and we can play PS1, PS2, I know that PS3 is hard, but I mean, Microsoft does it, so
it's too hard for him to like even like replicate those games in most scenarios just because the way a lot of them are built. So
yeah.
hey, just PS2 and PS4, that'd be fine for me. at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Just yeah, PS2, PS4 I would go crazy because my PS2's hooked up. I played 40 hours of Digital Devil Saga in the last month. Like, hey, if I could play those in HD on my PS5, man, that would be crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, personally, I think that the Series X, I think it's a better console in terms of like what it offers. It's just that I go where the games are, man. And Atlas isn't friends with Xbox. That's the main thing for me. And then PlayStation is steady copying these games like Final Fantasy 16. Like I can't miss out on that. So.
Yeah, I can't miss out on Final Fantasy 16 too. But hey, it seems like the game's gonna come out sooner than many of us expected. I think it's gonna be coming out either next year or the year after, for sure.
I agree.
Looks like they have a lot of work done on the game, so I could definitely see that.
I agree. I'm sure about that one as well. Like, you gotta understand that the Final Fantasy teams, because there's multiple of them, they're big, and 15 released a long time ago. There's the team with 14, there's the team for the remake, and there's another team for 16, and they've been working on the game for a long time. So yeah, I have to agree, it's not a 20-30 games like some people are saying. It's not going to be that far away.
Yeah, I was wondering about the size of the team because I was like, how are they going to do both Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, 3, 4, however long it is, and Final Fantasy 16? But that's because I didn't know how big the team was. So
they have big teams and they have a massive budget for those games as well. So yeah, I don't think that game is too far away, and it's a good thing because I can't wait to see more. That first trailer was all right. I need to see more, but I'm definitely not that hyped about 16. Like, I'm glad that Nomaru is not involved. That's a good thing, and that's my opinion. But I don't necessarily like how he manages to create stories like Kingdom Hearts and FF15. It's rough. It's rough with him, in my opinion. So he has talent. Don't get me wrong, but it's hard. It's hard with him, for me at least.
I just want to say I love how they're going back to the a more, well, not going back, but like medieval style. I like how they're doing that, and it seems like this Final Fantasy is gonna be a lot more gory and gruesome.
That's a good
when
thing.
We saw the trailer. The kid had blood covered all over his body after watching someone get cut right in front of him. So I think it definitely may be a possible rated M Final Fantasy game. And I know a lot of people are gonna think, oh, why would it be rated M? It will separate the audience. Kids play rated M games anyway.
Oh, I didn't think that'd be an issue for Final Fantasy anyway.
Oh yeah, but there's definitely people who are gonna complain about it. People complain about everything. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, that's right.
I just want to mention that now, just because I know
also
someone's gonna mention it eventually.
Yeah, it also reminds me of Final Fantasy 14 in terms of like the visual style. So
Graphically, yeah, just more up-res, more polished.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they had some people from the 14 team work with the 16 team later on in development. Something like that wouldn't surprise me, especially since 14 is still a thing, but when it comes to the updates, they're at the point where they're doing less and less right now, currently. Like when it comes to adding new stuff. The last one they had was Stormbringer or Shadow. What was it called again?
Oh boy, that's a good question. Shadowbringers?
Yeah, I think it's Shadowbringer.
Is that the last one? I'm not too sure. I'm not into this one. So.
I'm pretty sure it was Shadowbringer. I don't think that released too long ago, but it released a while ago. Yeah, July 2019 was when that released. Yeah, so
I played a
been a
little
while.
bit of Realm Reborn, and that's basically it.
Yeah, but like I think once that released, they split that team possibly because like let's be honest, Final Fantasy 16, it's gonna be a big undertaking, and they stopped doing Final Fantasy 15 updates back in like early 2019 as well. So
Yep.
could be possible.
Yep. Absolutely. Have a yeah. Well, let's talk about it. Yeah, I was wondering if I would bring it up, but yeah, the combat for Final Fantasy. What are you guys' thoughts? Like, they're not going back to turn-based or ATB or whatever you want to call it. It's similar. Do you want any thoughts?
I think that's nitpicky. I would say Final Fantasy 7 was ATB and it was turn-based.
Yeah.
Sorry, VC.
No, it's all good. It's just that I want to mention for those who don't know, Ryota Suzuki, he actually is the combat designer for Devil May Cry 5, and he is the same designer, the main designer, working on Final Fantasy 16. So I think if you like Devil May Cry 5, you may like this game, but at the same time, as a Final Fantasy fan, you may not like that it's going to be an action RPG. I want to mention that now because a lot of people don't know that.
I'm glad that you mentioned it because I didn't know that, and to me, that's great news. I mean, the game is an action game. Oh, the combat is action oriented. We're not going to change that. So if it's someone who has the DMC experience behind him, that's good news to me.
Oh yeah, especially for 5. The combat looks so fluid in that game, and to be honest, from the trailer we've seen, it looked great. In my opinion, when it comes to the combat, it looked awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it looked great. It looked great, but it's when you look at Final Fantasy 15 combat, you don't play it. You just look at it. Doesn't look bad. So that's why I was like, I don't know what to think.
I feel you. It may look all right, but then you play it, it's different. So I
exactly,
understand what you mean.
Exactly. But again, that's great news, and you did well to mention it because that's awesome. I'm glad that he's in for this project.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad.
Yeah, I don't see Final Fantasy going back to turn-based unless it's like either a throwback title or like some sort of like old school like spin-off or something. I don't know.
I think or something like that. Yeah.
Like a Final Fantasy 1 remake.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. I think for now though, it's gonna be just an action type of thing from now on. I think that appeals to more people.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I think you're I think you're right. Nowadays,
yeah.
I think you're right, and I don't mind. We still have a lot of turn-based games, so I don't mind. And the combat in the remake, I really liked it. I have complaints with the remake, but the combat, it was great. I really, really liked it. It was really well done. They knew what they were doing. It was different, and it worked.
easily my favorite part of the game is the combat. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and how it looks.
Oh, it's so well. Asterisk. I mean, the characters look great. Have you seen Midgar though? When you're like kind of like on top of it.
Yeah,
you know?
there's some awkward places.
That part is the worst part of the whole game.
That's
Yeah.
basically like my only like.
Yeah,
everything else
there's
is
some
perfect.
awkward places. You're right. There's some models that it looks like they forgot them. You forgot
like-
to update them.
The
And then the
cutscenes,
patch came
though,
out
yeah.
recently. People were like, nothing was changed with any of that. And people were like, oh, are they gonna change any of that? No, just some bugs.
Sorry.
The cutscenes though, I think it looks so good. It almost
Oh,
looks
yeah.
better than Advent Children. I think in
It
some
does.
ways. Yeah.
It looks
Yes, it's extremely beautiful, and I played it on my regular PS4. It looks really, really great.
Yeah, I'm playing on base too, base PS4 as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to play the other parts. Like, even if I know that I had some complaints, and we had a spoiler cast for FF7, and I knew that I complained and I cried a lot, but it's still good, and it has a lot of positive. There's way more positive than negatives. The music, how it looks, the pacing was great from what they did. I mean, they did a great job. They had to split the game in parts, and the way that they did it, it works. It works. They made
Yeah,
it
I
work.
agree.
They made it easy to understand, and no, I'm glad that the way that it turned out. Great game.
I'm actually gonna play some more of it when I'm finished. Maybe do some chapters again. Man, it's so good. Some of the I'm not gonna say the boss fights. This happened last time I was on the podcast. I think I wanted to mention a boss fight and I had to stop myself like 3 times.
It depends on the game.
I feel you. I almost did earlier before we started the show.
Yeah, it depends on how old the game is, and I mean, for your P5R, it wouldn't have been that bad because we have a Persona and Atlas-oriented viewers
course.
here, so I'm sure they're aware of what we're about to talk about. But Final Fantasy, I don't know. Yeah, so we answered a lot of the questions that I had actually. Like, now I have to change subject every time that I answer questions because we jumped from one subject to another. It's great. I don't mind. But going back to next gen and Switch, I want to know, what are you guys' expectations when it comes to third-party support with the new consoles coming and third-party support for Switch? Is it going to slow down? Are they going to create more teams in studio teams just developing a Switch port, for example? Are they just going to keep releasing on the console older games, stuff like that? What are you guys' thoughts?
I think if it's newer games, so like,
Like
for
a
example,
Cyberpunk, for
let's say a
example.
newer game comes out, Yakuza 7, as everyone knows. What if Sega and they decide to put that on Switch eventually? I don't think it would happen until they have a revision. And if they don't have a revision, like many of us do think for next year, then next year third party is going to be a little lackluster for Switch, in my opinion. It's going to start dwindling for Switch as the years go on, the longer there's not a revision.
Okay.
I
Great
think
point.
that. No, sorry, you go.
Oh, I was just approving his point. I'll add something after, so you go ahead.
Okay. I think that in terms of like the big third-party games, if we're talking like games like Wolfenstein and Doom, I think those are gonna slow down definitely when next gen starts to roll around the corner.
Doom Eternal
But-
isn't even here after a year and a half of delay.
Yeah. I'm like, where's that game at? Honestly, I almost forgot
Yeah.
it was announced for Switch. But if it's like third-party exclusives, I think that's 100% gonna stay. And then like Japanese third-party support, that's 100.
Oh,
I think that's
yeah.
definitely a lock for Switch. But
Square
for, like,
Enix is a lock, for sure.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Capcom, too.
But the big games, yeah, I can see that it's starting to slow down. Hasn't it already slowed down a little bit though? To be
Yeah.
honest.
It has.
Yeah. So yeah.
This year it started slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
But at least we get a Monster Hunter ride.
That's what I was about to get at. I think they're going to slow down on direct ports of new games, like a Wolfenstein, like a Doom, but
Like a Cyberpunk. That's not-
Cyberpunk.
That's not coming until the Switch 2.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
We know that CG Projekt Red would consider putting it on the Switch eventually, but
Yeah.
when they can do that, and they're not doing that anytime soon.
Exactly. I don't expect those developers to do just that. I expect them to create something different for the Switch, like Monster Hunter. Like, World would have been too much work in development for too long, so just said, nope, we're going to do something else. We're going to create a unique game just for the Switch. It's going to look and perform great for the console. It's going to be unique. People are going to be happy. Monster Hunter Rise is a great example of that. They could do similar things with other series. For Capcom Resident Evil, maybe they could do something with Resident Evil now that their engine is running on the console. When it comes to other series, other developers, let's say Square Enix, they're doing it as well. Bravely Default, Octopath Traveler. No, we're not getting FF7 Remake or FF16, but we're getting those amazing games. Like, I feel like we're going to get more of that type of support and less of that Witcher 3 port, Doom port, all of those type of games. I think we're going to get less of those and more of the games like Monster Hunter, for example. And I don't mind because most people own both, or they own a PC and a Switch, or Switch and a PS4.
That's me. Switch, PC, PS4, all I need. Because the PC got Game Pass. I'm good. I know Game Pass on PC is different than Game Pass on Xbox, but there's a good selection of games. Not the best selection, but very good selection on Game Pass PC. Gears Tactics. Then there's Crosscode, Star Renegades. I don't know if you've heard of Star Renegades, but that's a super dope RPG that came out pretty recently. Very, very unique for what it is. And there's a ton of great stuff. Street Rage 4. There's a lot. There's a lot of potential.
Oh, you're set. You're set with those three consoles. I mean, PS4, Switch, and PC, you can play almost everything.
Yep. Pretty, right. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, you're set. I mean,
Sony exclusive, the Nintendo exclusives, and then if you want the high resolution third-party games, just play it on PC.
Yep. But you can't play Scramble though.
Oh yeah, we can. Nobody can play Scramble.
Yeah. Fortunately, no one can play Scramble.
So that's the reason why
Atlas is scrambling to localize it.
Yep. Because I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense for all the reasons that we stated. That this is the direction that the third-party developers are going to get into with next gen. I feel like this is where they're going to start giving us more unique games and less ports. We answered most of the questions that I had in mind here, and I wrote down. We had a great conversation. It was great. I don't know if you guys have anything else that you want to add. Anything about upcoming games, next gen, anything else that we should talk about before we wrap things up?
I think we covered everything. I don't know if there's anything necessarily.
I think we did a
crazy.
good circle with what I had in mind as well, like what's going to happen next, all of that. We can all agree that 2021 is going to be amazing. So looking forward to it.
I think there's a lot of potential for 2021 for sure. We can't say it's gonna be amazing because we all said that for 2020, and then. Literally before 2020 started, I remember in 2019, Nintendo next year's gonna have the best year. Oh, PlayStation's gonna have the best year. Oh, Xbox.
I mean, SMT5
still got a lot of great
all I
games
need for 2021.
This is what I was about to say. SMT5 was not 2020, so
it's basically guaranteed going to be great for me in terms of JRPGs.
Except if there's a delay.
A ton of stuff. Yep.
But it's not happening. Let's not talk about this. Let's not end on that note.
Hey, you heard my prophecy. 2021 or 2022. It's not happening later.
2021.
Yeah, summer 2021.
We're good. So I think we're going to wrap things up now. We've been going at it for a good 2 hours already, so it was a great chat. Thank you all so much in the chat. You guys were great. We had a lot of questions. It was fun to interact with all of you guys, and both of you. Thank you guys for being here. It was a really great chat, and I would definitely like to have you guys on at another point. Definitely.
Awesome. Thanks for the invitation to hop on for an episode. It's definitely been an amazing discussion.
Yes, thank you.
Pleasure's all mine. So we'll see you next week, guys. I'll announce what we're going to do next week